welcome to today's video. If you are new here, hi, my name is Rachel and I run my own business here in Auckland, New Zealand called Growing Green. Make sure to check out our website www.growinggreen.nz, and on the website we sell houseplants and related supplies, and this is our YouTube channel where we make videos all about those houseplant supplies and behind the scenes of a small business. So if you want to follow along, make sure to hit the subscribe button down below, hit the notification bell so you get notified when we upload, and also if you do enjoy this video, make sure to hit the thumbs up so we know you like this kind of content. So this is part 2 of a 2-part series of showing you my grow tent, showing you my entire anthurium collection and repotting them and looking after them because it is well overdue. So make sure to pause this video, go and check out part 1 up here, and then come on back, and today we will be continuing that process. So let's get right into it. I'm going to start behind me. I have already repotted everything up on this shelf in part 1. I'm going to start on this shelf now, and then of course go through everything else in this video. I'm going to be a little bit quicker repotting things this time because the last video I think I got through 6 plants and there's way more than that here, so let's get started. Alright, so this is the first tray that I have actually already repotted, so I'm going to put that back on the shelf, and I'm going to take these 2 out of the greenhouse and repot these 2. These are my first victims for today's video. Alrighty, I'm going to start off with my Anthurium veitchii. Now this is probably, I would say, ooh, it's kind of hard to say, but maybe my top favorite Anthurium of all time, and I don't think it's hard to see why. Look at that shine. Like, I haven't cleaned these leaves at all and it is just so stunning. This is the latest leaf and it is looking fabulous. Look at all the ribbing on there, and if I turn it around you can see the back is also super pretty. It's got like a little bit of a red sheen to it. It is stunning, and yes, it is leaning that way because that's where the grow lights in my tent are. So once I repot it, I'm going to turn it around the other way, and then hopefully when the next leaf comes out after I've repotted it, it will go that way. So that's okay, it's normal. So I'm going to tip it out and have a look. I'll show you those roots first. Look at that, so pretty. Look at that. Oh my gosh, that is amazing. She's stuck. Yeah, that's the one. Ta-da! So as you can see, there is a little bit of moss or algae growing in here. That isn't actually going to hurt the plant, it's just because of the light that it's getting in the roots. So I'll just make sure to take that off when I get rid of all the soil. Alright, so that's probably about the best I'm going to get it in terms of getting rid of all the old soil. It looks so freaking good. I need to choose a pot size. It's currently in a 12 and I think I'm going to go up to a 15. And unlike some of my other plants, I actually managed to write down the date that I last repotted it, and that was in March this year, so that was 6 months ago. So I like to say that I try to repot it once a year, but if it's growing so good that it needs to be repotted twice a year, then that's totally fine too. It means it's happy. Alright, and the next one, this is my Anthurium macrolobium. This is probably the most interesting looking Anthurium in my collection. Like, this looks so freaking cool. I did buy this one as an established plant. This leaf is kind of annoying because it's like hanging off the side, so I was considering chopping it, but I think I might just stake it. But look at the roots again. These plants have just been doing so good in the grow tent. Like, I honestly couldn't tell you whether it was specifically the grow tent or whether obviously it is the nutrients I'm using, which obviously also help, but I think it's a combination of that and a combination of the fact that they didn't really get super cold during the winter. It's not a heated grow tent, so they did have a cooler period. It wasn't like warmed up or anything, so they still had that natural cool period that they get in the wild. But yeah, I'm just obsessed, and this is also coming out the bottom. So let's take it out and have a look. This one is actually in pure tree fern fiber too. Yeah, look at that, perfect. So I'm going to take that fern fiber off, and I'm going to just mix it in with my soil over here because it actually looks fine. Fern fiber is like the only substrate that I do that with, unless it is green and mossy, obviously then I'll just tip it out. But this one has no moss whatsoever, so I'm not going to let that go to waste. Now this one is actually in a really old pot. If you have been on our website or have known us since the beginning, we used to sell these pots. These were like the original teku pots that we had on the website until we invented the New Zealand made clear pot. Yeah, that was us. But I am going to, okay, this is 12. I think 14 could be alright for the size of the roots. I'm going to get one of each and just check. We have the 15 and the 14. I'll try the 14 first. It's not too bad. Where's the 15? I don't know. I really don't know. I'm gonna go to the 15. What the heck? Saves me having to, you know, repot it. That one is all good to go. So that is now officially the top 2 shelves done. The 2 plants I just did are back on top here, looking good, and now I'm going to move down here to these 2 trays. So on this first tray, these 2 plants are going to stay here. They've only just been repotted / they're new, so I'm going to leave them somewhere, maybe up here for now. This one is an Anthurium AOS crossed with a red dark phoenix. I just thought I would show them rather than just skip on past them. I do need to give it a bit of a drink though. It's a little bit dry, but it is growing since I got it a couple weeks ago, which is fabulous. And then this one I put over here is a pup of my Anthurium forgetii variegated, so that one will be up for grabs very soon. So that leaves me with these 2. Let's take them out and repot. Alright, first up from this tray is my Anthurium Dark Bessier. I got this one at the last Auckland plant market, I believe, so it's been doing very well since then. I think I repotted it as soon as I got it, so that was about February, and it's looking pretty good. Again, the roots are looking fab. It's just in need of a drink because, where is it? This leaf is curling on itself, as you can see there, so let's just give it a repot. Again, a great root system, but it does look like in the middle here it does have a little bit of root rot going on. Well, this is old root rot because it's not super mushy, it's a bit dry, and obviously you can see there are new roots coming here, so I'm going to go in with my scissors and just give that a little bit of a trim up. I hope you can see this properly and it's focusing, but that is what a root with root rot looks like. This is obviously an old one because it's quite dry, but you can tell because it's really thin and spindly and it feels very lightweight as well. Alright, I think I've got the most of it out. Those are all the dead roots for you to give you an idea of what it looks like. So because there were quite a few dead roots, I'm going to do the hydrogen peroxide trick and just leave it to soak in there while I do the next one, just to give those roots that are still there a little bit of an extra boost. So this is just water. I'm going to fill it up with hydrogen peroxide. This helps just kill any bad bacteria on those roots, especially because of the root rot, and gives them a little bit of a boost. Now the dilution is 1/4 to water, which is a really easy way to remember it, but I kind of just honestly eyeball it. It doesn't have to be like exact. If you're really scared with it, you can, because I know some people are scared with hydrogen peroxide, but there's no need to be. It's totally fine. Alright, let's put the roots in there. Stuff them in. I could get a bigger container, but I am just lazy. Yay! So that will soak in there for, I would say, probably 30 minutes while I repot the next one. And then we will come back and pot it up. I wonder if you can see in there, if I hold it still enough, all the bubbles in there. You can probably actually see it from the top better. Hopefully, maybe you can see some bubbles coming up. That's the hydrogen peroxide working its magic. There we go. I hope you can see that. There we go. Yep, perfect. See? That's the hydrogen peroxide working its magic. I'm going to sit you back there for a second while I do the next one, which is a little bit of an unusual one, and this leaf is so long it's hard to fit in the shot. Let me try and zoom out again for you, so if you can see the rest of my ugly ass greenhouse. But this one is my Anthurium warocquianum crossed with vitarifolium. This is a cross done by a local Kiwi here, and it is growing. It's so good for me. Like, look at this leaf. It's amazing, and it's getting a new one up here, which is really cool. You can kind of, hang on, if I hold this for you, you might be able to see that pattern on the leaf where you can actually see the warocquianum like veins, and obviously it's got that long strappy vitarifolium leaf. It's obviously picked up more of that vitarifolium as the parent, but this is so cool and I can't wait for this to get massive. It's already pretty big. Let's take it out and have a look. I gotta try and not destroy this big leaf because I actually destroyed this new leaf not that long ago. Alright, again I have the 15 and the 14 centimeter pot. It seems to be a theme this year. I think the 14 centimeter is going to be too small, so we're going to go up to a 15 again. And those roots are looking beautiful. And this one was actually in houseplant mix, so I'm going to bring this over here and add some more mix. So with this one I am going to do the spag moss trick, because as you can see there are some roots popping out in the middle here, and if I turn that around there are a couple up here as well that haven't quite reached the soil, so I'm going to put the spag around the top to encourage the moisture and that root growth. Look at all those bubbles. Wait for it. So it was in a 12. I'm only going to pot it up to a 14. It probably could handle a 15, but because I found that root rot, I kind of don't want to stress it out too much. and put too much pressure on it to grow. See, that's actually pretty good. I'm gonna put it in tree fern fiber, I think, just to help those roots a little bit more. Tree fern fiber is perfect for rehabilitating plants. Our houseplant mix is good, but it does stay a little bit wet for a little bit longer, so tree fern's probably the best. All done, it's gonna be so much happier. Okay, so I've already picked up the next 3. It just saves me a little bit of time moving the camera around, and I will start with the bigger one, which is this one here. This is my Anthurium Nightshade, which is a cross of Dark Velvet and Bessier, but look how stunning this leaf is. It's so pretty. Let's take a look, because this one has mega roots. Look at those two. It's ridiculous. Like, look at that. That's crazy. So we're back with the 14 and the 15. This one is definitely, I think, gonna need, yeah, a 15. I don't know how all these roots fit into that 12 centimeter pot, because this is full. All done. Perfect. This is the next one. This is my Anthurium Forgetii crossed with Clarinervium. This one has actually turned out really interesting. I really love the Forgetii shape, but you can definitely see the Clarinervium in there. And the veining is so pretty. Like, it's such like a contrast. So as you can see, this one doesn't actually have that big of a root system. Also because the plant itself is just small, but I think I'm actually, I'm considering repotting it back into the same size pot, just refreshing the soil, but I might go to a 12. Let's take a look. Yeah, definitely the 12. Anthurium number 2 done. And the last one from this shelf is my Anthurium crystallinum dark form. This one is so pretty. I said that about all of them, but it truly is. There's like a glow to these leaves. It's so cool. That is the latest leaf there. And again, I think this one is probably the most one in desperate need of a pot out of all of them. So let's take a look. Oh, gee. Yep, there we go. Look at that. Now this one is actually in a really chunky mix. I must have put a heck ton of, what is it called? Cocoa chip in this one. And it's looking really good. Like, look at the, oh, you can see the pot on the bottom. So I'm sorry. Yeah, I don't think I'm gonna get through this. It's just way too thick in there. Like, look at that. Look at where I've loosened up. So I think I'm gonna leave it at that. Alright, I spent a little bit longer on it and I managed to get a whole lot more out, which I'm much happier with. So I'm gonna get rid of this and then go and grab another 15 centimeter pot. This one's also getting spagger on the top because you can see all those little roots poking out there that just need a little bit of a helping hand. Alright, those ones are all good to go. Time to give them a water and pop them back in the grow tent. Okay, starting to make some progress. That one's done, that one's done, this one is done. Looking so much better in the new pots. Now I'm gonna shift around to here. Alright, it's actually the next day now, but I'm going to start with my Anthurium Radlax, which is Anthurium radicans crossed with Luxurians. This is such a neat plant, and as you can tell, it is actually flowering for me, but I'm gonna chop that off because I do want it to focus on growing because I'm not really a pollinator. And it also has one really sad looking leaf here. It's very crispy, so those are gonna go. This one is also, look at that. Like, I'm sure you guys are sick of seeing all these amazing roots by now, but I'm not. I love it. Bye. Alright, looking at the size of the roots. Yep, definitely a 15. And the second anthurium on that tray is my Anthurium Silver Blush. Now this one did nothing for me for a long time. As you can see, it stayed really small. And then all of a sudden, just before winter, it popped up this beauty, which is so stunning. So I don't know why it's in a black pot. I always put mine in clear pots. Yeah, I don't know, but it's okay. Let's have a look. Before I unpot it, if you look at the top there, it's actually putting out a new leaf, which is cute as. Ah, wow, that's quite surprising. Look at all those roots. Amazing. So it just goes to show that like clear pots don't necessarily make your plants grow better, it just makes your care for them easier. But if you're okay with winging it with black pots, I mean, go for it. These are some really healthy roots. Wow, no wonder it gave me that nice big leaf. So this one came out of a 12 centimeter, so I'm going to put it into the 14 centimeter. I think that will be more than enough for this one, because as you can see, there's still quite a bit of space in there. And it came out of houseplant mix, so it's going to go into houseplant mix. I've already gone and picked up the next tray. I'm gonna try and make these a lot quicker again because I feel like this video is gonna be super long again. But hopefully you guys are still enjoying it. So I'm gonna pop these to the side. First up is my Anthurium Regale. As you can see, this leaf didn't come out properly. It's a little bit crispy on the edge, not looking that great, which is sad. But it is giving me a new leaf back there. Hopefully you can see that. So hopefully this one will come out better. I don't know actually if this one needs another size up pot, because I don't see many good roots coming through, but we'll see. See how with these roots none of them are really light colored or look like they're growing? I think this one could possibly have been in the early stages of root rot. So I'm going to put it in hydrogen peroxide, same trick as I did last time, just to give those roots a bit of a clean and a bit of a boost before I pot it up again. While that one is sitting, I'm going to move on to the next one. This is my Anthurium clarinarium crossed with Predatorium. This is too hard, people. I'll put the name for this one up on the screen so you can see it. This is another one that hasn't done like a heck ton for me. It's given me this one. This is the next one it gave. So hopefully this one that's coming through here will look a little bit better. Okay, yep, so this one has had root rot as well. That's why it's not doing so well. And I can tell because there's lots of little squishy roots like this in the fern fiber. So I'm gonna biff that fern fiber, chop off those roots, which is really sad. Don't even need to chop them, they just come off. It is, however, growing a new root there. That's a new one. So that's probably why I'm getting a new leaf. So hopefully this will recover. If your plant is growing really slow or you're not really noticing anything at all, this is a prime example of why to check your roots. And you know what? I'm actually going to put it in the hydrogen peroxide as well. Get in there. Okay, so 2 out of 4. That's not a great track record for these ones. So this one is looking a lot better. This is my Anthurium crystallinum crossed with luxurians, and I'll show you the other one as well. This is my Anthurium magnificum cross luxurians. So as you can see, apart from the leaf size, there isn't actually much difference in how they look, apart from I think the magnificum, which is the bigger one, may have a slightly bigger like lobe. Like I think these bits are slightly longer. And another difference that I can tell between the two is the petiole. The crystallinum petiole is just your standard round one, whereas the one on the magnificum, hopefully you can see that by my thumb here, is actually square and has little ruffles, which is really cute. So I'm going to do those. These are looking a lot better than the other two, so I think I'll have better luck. So let's start with the crystallinum cross first. So this is really cute. I have to show you this. Take a look at that curly root. That's cute. That was where like the hole in the bottom of the pot was, and it's decided to curl around it, which is so cute. These roots are much better. Can you see that? They're like light colored and growing and healthy compared to those other ones. So hopefully that helps a lot of you. I know a lot of people have problems knowing when their plant actually has root rot or not. That's a prime example.
See, this one has a little bit of root rot too. You can tell by these roots here that are like really not happy. I wonder what happened to all of these on this tray. It seems to be like the one tray. Okay, so we are another shelf done. We've done that one, that one, that one, these ones, and we're gonna move on down to here, which means we're more than halfway and we've only got that one to go. Okie dokie, moving on to these next ones. First up is my Anthurium Brownie Eye. Now this is another very interesting one in my collection. Let me see if I can't get you a better angle. But look at these leaves, they are so cool. So they are kind of like indented, if that makes any sense. So you can probably see there that the edges sit upwards and they have like a little hole in the middle here. It is so cool. So I got this plant quite a long time ago and it was actually sold to me as a veitchii. Obviously it's not. They accidentally sent out a shipment of the wrong plants to a bunch of people, so I got a brownie eye for free. But it is so cool. I'm actually quite falling in love with this plant. It is so stunning. Look at that. That's amazing. And this one is actually the only anthurium that I have growing in a net pot. Now I started this off as an experiment when it was a baby and it seems to be obviously doing perfectly fine in here. But I do think I'm going to put it in a normal pot now because for a start I don't have any larger size net pots on me. And second of all, yeah, I don't know. It's doing okay. Like obviously it's doing fine, but yeah, I think it's time for a normal pot. So let's tip her out. So as you can see, it's actually doing very well compared to the root size, but those roots are very compacted in there. So it just goes to show that it's in need of a proper pot now. So because the roots are so compacted, I'm gonna put it into a 14 centimeter pot rather than a 15 centimeter pot because I just want to give the plant time to adjust to its new pot. So that is what we're gonna do. I'm sorry, but I might cut off the top of this plant because it's just simply too big for the space that I have. Ta-da! And then the next one on this tray is this beautiful Anthurium forgetii dark form. Obviously you can tell why it's called the dark form. The leaves are so deep and dark and beautiful. This is the leaf it actually came with, and then it had a really tiny little one, and then this is the leaf it gave me before winter, which is so stunning. And again, this one definitely looks super healthy, so it just needs a quick repotting. Again, another classic example of a plant that's had root rot. It's obviously recovering because it has some really nice big thick roots coming through, but hopefully you can see that all of this is rotten. All of this. These are rotting roots, or rotted roots. Luckily they're quite dry in there, so they haven't rotted in the pot, but it's all dead roots. All of this is just dead. So it's always best to get all of that out before potting it up. I can't believe how many of these ones have root rot in this video, or have had root rot, I should say, because clearly letting them get really dry has solved that problem for me. Even with clear pots, it can sometimes be hard to miss, especially when all the roots inside are the ones that are like rotting that you can't see. I think this one's going to get the hydrogen peroxide treatment. Ta-da! I'm gonna go get some other plants to repot meanwhile. While that one is resting, I'm gonna move on to my Anthurium clarinervium crossed with leuconurum. And you can definitely see that classic clarinervium shape in there, but it does have the slightly longer tendencies of the leuconurum, and this one's actually holding quite a lot of leaves, which is really cool. But if I go that way, you can see that it is facing towards the light 100%. A lot of times when like plant influencers take their pictures and they look really pretty like this one does, that is what it looks like from behind. So don't be fooled by it looking like this the entire way around, because that's not what's happening. So let's have a look. Again, this one looks perfectly fine, so I shouldn't have any issues just straight up repotting it. Alright, so that's those two trays done. Unfortunately, I'm going to have to do, I think, a lot of these just like time-lapse style because my neighbor has decided that it is a perfect time to do some ankle grinding. And it's going on and on and on and on. But I want to finish this today. So that is my entire grow tent repotted, cleaned, watered, and looking really, really nice. I can't wait to watch everything grow this growing season. And thank you guys so much for sticking around and watching. I hope you enjoyed this two-part series. If you did, make sure to give it a big thumbs up down below. And also hit the subscribe button so you know when we upload, and of course the notification bell. And I will see you in our next video. Bye!